Hey guys. Yeah, so it's been a little bit since I've done something non-tough pad, and since the tough pad is in retail production, whatever, and I'm not actively making huge design changes. I've had time to kind of go back and work on my previous stuff. So I've made some changes to this Tartarus mod that I do. I'm going to talk through them real quick, see if I can keep this under 10 minutes. Some of it should be obvious. I'm going to have another chunk edited in that I've previously recorded that shows the internals of this because it's relevant. But let me just talk through some of the things you can see on the outside. Let me get my pointer. There's my pointer. So previously, this dome has been glued down. I've since figured out how I can get some screws in there, so this thing is now bolted down. There's a screw right there too. So, and overall, there's just so much less glue in this mod. There's a little bit in the bottom of the cup to hold the stick body down, and there's a little bit underneath to keep this in, to keep the stick cup from rotating. But otherwise, there's nothing like mechanically glued, which is great. It makes me feel better about sending this to people. Not that I've ever had anything come back and say, hey, your glue failed. I just, screws are better than glue. So there's that. You probably can't tell, but I've made some changes to this D-pad hat. It's now way more reliable. It was a little finicky to get the tension right. It's a screw back there. It's screwed from the back, and you kind of had to be really careful with that. It was really easy for that screw to be too tight or too loose, and then it just wouldn't work. Now it's in much better shape. So I think that's it. Now let's talk about the next big thing, or the last big thing. The teensy is no longer back here. Previously I kind of had it coming out here. Now it's inside the main body underneath the keypad PCB, and I've got it on a USB-C breakout board right there. If I can lift this up and you can see it. And that's screwed in at the bottom, which is nice and clean. I had wanted, and I actually had it working, I had wanted to put a USB 2.0 hub. Let me get it. Inside, I actually did. This is a USB 2.0 hub that I harvested. It's one of those cables to go 2-port hubs, and I took the connector off and I put it inside next to the teensy and had the teensy wired to it, and then the Tartarus PCB wired to it, and then the output wired to the main out, so it had one cable, and it was great. It worked for like a day, and then the hub died. So unless I can find a better, more reliable hub, I'm not going to go that route anymore, because it would really suck for me to do this for somebody and then that hub to die a week or 2 or 3 weeks in. Ugh, that would just be a mess. So this is messier because you've got 2 cables, but more reliable, and it is less messy than the previous version of the mod, so take that how you will. And it's right about here that I'll edit in and show you the inside. Hey guys, so I'm showing you the guts of a Razer Tartarus Pro. This should work on any Tartarus V2 and up. The V1 is different and discontinued, so we don't have to worry about that anymore unless you've got a legacy device sitting around, in which case you should hang on to it because the V1s were great. Anyways, the goal here is to put an analog stick on this side, which I've actually got built right here. Oh, don't drop it. It's coming out to this JST connector, which will connect here, and that runs to this teensy right here, which itself is wired to this USB-C, sorry, wow, autofocus, USB-C port that I've put in the back end of this device, and I've also put an indicator LED through the body right there, because the teensy does boot up things with the LED, and if it's inside if the teensy, which has a built-in LED right there, is inside of here, you can't see it, so you need a LED on the outside. So all that's there. Ignore ignore this red heat shrink tubing going to the factory USB. This is the result of me attempting to put in a USB 2.0 hub also in here. The goal was to get the factory USB and the Teensy USB unified to one cable coming out of the device, but that USB hub died in the middle of me testing. I actually had it all working, and then I was about to box it up and send it, and that hub died right as I was testing it, right before I boxed it. So this is a punt. But anyways, I think unless I find a better USB hub, which I might still play with that, this is going to be the way. It puts a lot of electronics inside. Previous mods had the Teensy on the outside of this side module here, and it worked, but it was kind of ugly and finicky. But that's screwed down, so this isn't going anywhere. This is double-sided tape to the inside of the device. I might even glue that down, so it's not going anywhere. So it's a lot more stable. Anyways, that's the guts of this thing. And we're back to the future after that edit. There's not really anything else here to talk about. Maybe just to show you a really nasty video of the PC screen here, because I should do it via a capture card, but I'm not. I'm just gonna hold the phone up and you can see it. You can see we've got the Tartarus Pro plugged in. You can see it there and there. And I'm just going to try to one-handed plug in, turn it around, because that's how USB do. We're going to watch this around the side here. Oh, that's right. There's an LED that drives that is driven by the Teensy, so you can see the Teensy boot up. It's calibrating the stick, waiting for input for keyboard mode. We're not going to push it. We don't want keyboard mode right now. There. And back up here, and now we have the joystick. So the Tartarus stuff is there. And I'm just going to remove that stick, click it in. There we go. And we're gonna, Tartarus works. That's great. And then the D-pad. Yep, all works. Perfect. That's what I want. Anyways, that's the new version of this mod. I got a little bit wiser and took pictures and some video along the way while doing it. So while it's not a complete DIY tutorial, it should give anybody who is DIY minded the right idea on how to do it. Disassembly and reassembly is basically still the same. Anyways, that's I had a fun time not working on the ToughPad and just updating some of my older mods, and I wanted to show it off before I mailed it to this customer. Anyways, let me know what you think. Catch you later.